this section, I want to talk about prospect outreach, and this is kind of a broad topic. So this one's going to be maybe a little bit longer of a conversation than the typical videos that you'll see here. But I thought I could answer a couple questions on how does Bottleneck prospect for clients? How do we qualify our prospects to lead? And at what point do we archive unresponsive leads? Is there a maximum number of follow-ups? So first, let me tell you, how does Bottleneck prospect for clients? Well, usually when we hire an account executive, they have a pretty good understanding or some experience in the sales arena, but most of the time, the way that we prospect for clients is either by talking to people in our network that can refer business to us. There's email. Email is a great way to send out to your network and update. There's obviously one really good way is phone calls still to this day. Texting is a really incredible way of reaching out. Texting responses are really good. Social media, and then multi-channel selling, and that's the different ways that I talked about here. So there's quite a bit of different things that we do here at Bottleneck to market and social media. There's LinkedIn and Sales Navigator, and I think LinkedIn's a really good choice, and it gives you access to a network that you can really start diving into. Second thing is, how do we qualify our prospects or leads? Well, we qualify our prospects or leads by setting up a consultation and talking with them. And I'll go into what we do on that consultation call in another video. But you want to make sure, number one, that they can afford our services. Number one, they've been in business for a while or a very well-funded startup. When I say for a while, I'm talking a minimum of about 3 years. Typically, the first couple of years are pretty rocky and they're figuring things out. By year 3, our prospects are cruising right along, and you have to find out too if they're in some form of a growth trajectory. Some people don't want to take on any more clients. They're comfortable with what they're doing, but if a company wants to grow, they've been around in business for a minimum of 3 years, they're earning over $1 million a year in revenue, or they're a very well-funded startup, then these are good ways to qualify those candidates. And then we specialize in working with entrepreneurs, agency owners, like real estate agency owners, mortgage brokers, SEO agencies, marketing agencies, digital agencies, things like that. That's where we can really support them. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is, at what point do we unarchive, or do we archive, I should say, unresponsive leads? And there's really no set rule of thumb there, because everybody has different needs. However, according to a really great article that I read, The Power of Follow-Ups by IRC Sales Solutions, is that most business, 80% of it, as a matter of fact, that business doesn't occur until after the 5th, in between the 5th and the 12th contact. So what does that mean to you? Let me give you some stats. A lot of people stop after the first phone call. Well, did you know that only 2% of all total sales come after the first contact? That's it. That means if you don't make another phone call, if you don't follow up with them, if you leave a voicemail and then never call them again, or send an email and never follow up on that email, you still have 98% of your opportunities that you've just kind of thrown away. So we at here Bottleneck consider ourselves different, right? And we like to go from good to great, and that's just a little touch above good. Great is just a little bit more, 1% maybe. So what if we challenged you to reach out a couple more times, a few more times, up to 12 times, setting up your own email marketing campaign, right? The more you touch base, the more people are going to learn more about you, and that's a great relationship building opportunity. I get it. It's scary to reach out. Now, when do you put them on a do not call back? If they tell you, don't ever call me again, or I'm not interested, this is something that would never work for me. If anything else, any other objectives, like, yeah, maybe try back. Maybe they're not in the market yet. Maybe they're, they will be in 6 months. ask them, hey, would you mind if I called back next month or in 3 months or in 6 months? And if they say yes, they've given you the green light. And what you can do in between that time where they've said yes to call them back in a month or 3 or 6 months down the road, then you can kind of touch base once a month, just sending a quick update on an email, all educational, informative articles on the benefits of working with Bottleneck and a distant assistant. So there's some really, really, really interesting statistics that go along with this. So in keeping with this, I want to keep the videos as short as possible, but some of this is pretty powerful. On average, get this, on average, 42.5% of sales reps take 10 months or longer to become productive enough to contribute to a company's bottom line. This is after an average of 10 weeks of training and development. Well, what we're doing here at Bottleneck is trying to reduce that learning curve by doing videos like this to help you with your follow-ups. Typical stats that you might not have been aware of as an account executive is that when you're selling, you're only spending about 34% of the time actually selling. The other time is spent, 21% of that is emails, 17% is data entry, 17% is prospecting and researching leads, 12% attending internal meetings, 12% or 11% is training, and then another 11% is reading industry news and research. These are all neat things and exciting things for you to do to help you on your sales journey. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Be happy to go into more detail about this stuff. And I'll even put the link to this IRC Sales Solutions page there, because this is a pretty powerful article just to give you in the know, to kind of help set up your sales process there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, but there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned.